Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Yes, it's me, Dawn Bates, one of the contributors here in the beautiful House of Preeminence. So today I'm going to be doing a short video for you. I don't know how short is. We will just go with the flow, but it's all relative. It's going to be longer than a couple of minutes, that's for sure. But this month's article in the House of Preeminence magazine is all about don't ask, don't get. Now, this is a phrase that my mother used to say to me on a regular basis, and it is something that has underpinned my life in so many ways. If you want something, ask for it. The only thing that can be said is either yes or no, perhaps a maybe. So many of us, though, are afraid of the word no. So many of us doubt we'll get a yes. And one of the things that I wanted to cover in this is how not only do we ask other people for something, but how we ask it of ourselves. Because there are lots of people that will always seek help outside of themselves, seek for answers outside of themselves. But one of the most powerful things that I've realized over the years is when we ask ourselves and when we ask for guidance through meditation, prayer, journaling, um, deep healing, when we ask of it from ourselves and the universe, then the results are so much more powerful. It's a way of us calling ourselves forward. So this is what I'm going to be covering today. Now I have some notes, so if I do look away, then it's because I wanted to make sure that I actually cover everything. Now, one of the things that my mother always used to say to me as well is, as long as you do your best, no one can ask anything more of you. And I wonder how many of us actually ask the best of ourselves. A lot of us stay in relationships that do not serve us. We are not asking the best of ourselves. We are not asking for our strongest self to come forward. We are not asking ourselves for the standards or the requirements that we desire in our relationships, whether they're romantic relationships, whether they are professional relationships, whether they're friendships. We do not ask the very best of ourselves. And because we do not treat ourselves as the very best version of self, we are telling and showing other people how not to treat. We're showing and telling other people the standard, it's not the best. Or we are not asking them to treat us in the way that we truly want them to, because we haven't yet asked it of ourselves. So one of the things that I'd like to move on to now is and you're going to get to read about this as well, is a young lady who, back in America, the turn of the century, Madam C.J. Walker. Many of you will have seen the documentary on Netflix. Many of you will have known about this lady. This lady was a powerhouse. And this is one of the things where I just mentioned about we are afraid of no. We get stopped at no. Madam C.J. Walker was a woman who was a black woman in America at the turn of the century. Not this century, last century. Sometimes I forget that we're already in 2020. Um, oh, oh dear. Okay, moving on. And this lady lost her hair due to one reason and another, wanted hair care. She managed to barter hair treatments for cleaning and laundry. She then loved these products so much, she asked the lady, can I sell these on your behalf? The lady in question didn't want CJ Walker to be representing her brand. But CJ wanted to sell the products. CJ wanted to give the gift of the healing of hair, our crowning glory as it is known, to other women. She wanted to enable other women to feel amazing. And that is what the House of Preeminence, this is what we're gifting you. We're gifting you the permission to have the permission, to give yourself permission to have everything you've truly desired. Now, that might sound like a lot of permissions, but it really does start with us asking ourselves, what do I want permission for? What do I want in my life? Now, even though CJ was refused by the lady who originally had the hair care product to represent her company and to work with her as a business partner, CJ went into business by herself and became the first black self-made millionaire, female millionaire in the United States of America. She went on to have a multi-million-dollar business and live next door to Rothschild. No, Rockefeller, sorry, Rockefeller. And this is the thing, she had a dream and she gave herself permission to go after it. And she was not going to allow anyone to stop her. Not a cheating husband, not the times, not the constant rejection, the male chauvinism at the time, which we do still see in some areas. But the only thing that stops women moving forward is them giving themselves permission. Asking themselves, what do I truly want? Asking themselves, how can I make this happen? How can I turn this no into a yes? How can I turn this maybe into a hell yes? So asking ourselves what we truly want and how we get there. Because remember, if we don't ask, we don't get. Do you want to have a body that will take you through life powerfully? Now, at the moment, I will touch on this very briefly. We are seeing lots of people wearing a mask, walking around the streets. A lot of these very same people are so worried about their health. They're putting a mask on, not understanding the detrimental health benefits of that. But yet they fill their trolleys with food that doesn't serve them. They do not exercise, they drink lots of alcohol, they smoke cigarettes, they're not joining the dots. Now, this is the thing that I really want to touch on right now, because when we ask for something that we want, are we joining the dots? So, one of the things, if you are in employment, one of the things that a lot of people say is, my boss doesn't pay me enough, I want that promotion. How many have said, okay, how much am I worth to this company? How much is my role worth? I want this much. Okay, let me join the dots. By me doing my job within this company, how is that benefiting other people and how much money is that actually saving the company? How much of an impact on the profits is my role increasing the company value for? When we get present to that and how much time and effort and thinking ability we are saving managers, fellow team members, and how much our role in the company is driving the business forward, then we actually have a measure. So then you're in a much stronger position to say, I want this salary. This is the research I've done. This is the impact I have on the company. I would like this salary. I would also like this benefit and I'd also like this benefit. And you put it on the table and then you have a benchmark. Your employer knows that you've actually sat and thought about it. Many people do not do this. Now, the other thing I would like to bring to your attention is, what is it that you are expecting from your children? If you have children, okay, what is it that you would like them to do? What skills would you like them to do? What attributes, attitudes, and behaviors would you like them to have? Have you asked them for that, and have you explained to them why it is that you would like them to do certain things? Now, I remember when I first became a single mother, I was in the process of building a business, writing books, and really establishing myself again as a single woman. I'd had huge success in my previous businesses, but I was in a new industry now. I was no longer Dawn from the other companies, and I was no longer part of a marriage and a joint business. So I was starting again. I needed the help of my children. I need you to do this job because then that gives me time to focus on this. And I'd also like you to be this kind of individual, a responsible individual, a respectful individual. And by the way, you live here. And one of the questions I always ask my children is, when you go and stay in a hotel, if you were to stay in a hotel room that looked like your bedroom or was untidy, or the lounge was untidy, would you be willing to pay to stay there? If the answer is no, then you've got work to do in your bedroom, boys. And this is the thing, what is it that we're asking for and how are we presenting that information? The other thing that I always like to understand and coach my clients on understanding is, we've all heard of Simon Sinek's understand your why. Now, obviously, this goes back way before Simon. You know, look at the White House Carnival in Chicago. You know, back in I can't remember in the 1800s. They wanted to rebuild Chicago. Why was that? They wanted to have the biggest carnival. Why was that? Looking at why that happened and why they want to rebuild goes back even then, before any of us were alive. And it's always about understanding why and how this has an impact on our life, but also the ripple effect. Now, I know that by me coaching authors and female leaders, the ripple effect that that has, not just on their life and their business, but their family and their community. Now, my ripple effect of work goes out way beyond, and so does yours. And this is why I bring it back to, if you are an employee, what is the work that you are doing and how does that impact others? What is it, or have you got really present to the impact you are having on your clients' lives? And if so, are you asking for the right amount of money in an exchange? Are you asking for your real value? Are you communicating the real value of what it is that you are gifting your clients to them, to your potential clients, so that other people know what they can get from you? But also, are you communicating this to your peers in your social circle so that people know who to refer to you? There is no point somebody referring someone to you who can only pay £100 an hour if you are charging £1,000 an hour, if you are charging £10,000 an hour. Know your value and ask for it by understanding your why and the ripple effect moving forward. Now, the other thing I always like to do is, if you continue where you are now, what is most likely going to continue to happen? If you make no choices and you don't start asking for what you want, remember, don't ask, don't get. No one can read your mind. So when you ask yourself, what is it that is most likely to happen if I do not ask for what I want? What is most likely to happen? What is the worst that can happen? But also, when I ask for it and I get that yes, what's the best thing that can happen? Now, the best thing that can happen is you get a hell yes, but you also get very comfortable at asking for that. The first time you ask for your true value might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but it's like learning to walk. The more you do it, the more confident you get, the more able you get, the better the walker, then you become a runner, maybe. I'm not that great a runner. You wouldn't want to copy my running style. I run. I'm not an Olympian. Don't ever consider myself that way. And many years ago, if you saw me running, as my friend Leslie says, you would want to be running too. But one of the things that we need to be doing is becoming more direct. I'm not saying be rude. I have had issues with being diplomatic and tactful. I've worked on that. I ask for feedback. How can I change my way of asking? How can I change my way of delivering so it's a more powerful but not aggressive or taken in the wrong way, without changing who I am? Always ask for feedback. Always ask for a referral. Always ask for a testimonial. So when you're direct with yourself and you're asking yourself direct questions and you're asking other people for the things that you want in a direct way, I want you to remember to be specific. Remember the old, the SMART goals. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and tangible. Now, this is an old standard of goal setting. But if you are going to be asking for a certain lifestyle, then you need to make sure you understand. Now, the other thing is to follow up on these goals. Be specific with what you want in your journaling as well. Be specific in what you want in each and every area of your life. Even if you don't get it exactly as you want, then at least you've got specific. You know exactly what you need to call in. It's like your finances. When you know exactly what it is that you are paying out, you'll know exactly how much you need to bring in. I always say at a minimum of 25% contingency for emergencies, but also, okay, make a list of everything that you, not only now that's going out, but what you would like to go out of your account. Add in their spa days, add in there a powerful coach, add in their different platforms, new team members, travel, experiences, new clothing, add in everything that your ideal life looks like. Then you know exactly how much. Now, this may seem basic to a lot of us, but to some people, they have never done this process. The other thing that for me is when we don't ask for what we want, how does the universe know how to deliver it? When we don't ask for what we want and we're not specific on what we want and when we want it by, then this can lead to confusion and frustration and sometimes anger and upset. That is not a healthy, energetic space to be in. I have learned the hard way. Trust me, 22 years in business and sometimes going to the next level is still very challenging because like, oh my God, can I ask for that? Can I do that? My first ocean crossing, excited a lot. Can I spend my time on a boat with these people, making sure that when they're asleep and I'm the only one on the boat by myself, awake, am I going to be able to do this? Can I do this? Asking myself, what am I willing and what am I able to do, called me forward. Asking more of myself each and every single day doesn't mean I'm in competition with somebody else. I'm in competition with the person I was yesterday. Constant improvement. Now, also being kind to myself. Can I be kind to myself if I do not choose to be somebody who was as good as I was yesterday? Maybe I'm sick. Maybe I've gone through a transformation internally. Maybe I've had, a curveball. But let's be kind to ourselves. Now, the other things that I would like us to consider is when we are too specific or not specific enough, there are consequences. Now, I remember when I was in New Zealand, I was like, oh, it'd be really great if I had a man sing to me some of my favourite songs. Thinking of a new relationship. It'd be really great to have a man who would sing to me. I'd love a man to read to me. So I'm in the garden, and this guy starts singing my favourite UB40 songs. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. When I looked at the gentleman that was singing to me, I was like, oh my God, so not my kind of guy. I got what I asked for, a man singing to me, but not the kind of guy I wanted to be singing to me, but still very nice all the same. I sang along with him, we had a giggle, that was it. So if you're not specific enough, you might get given what you asked for. Again, with my own life experience, when my first child was born, he was only 2.58 kilos. I was like, please God, do not give me a child heavier than that. My second child came nearly 6 weeks early at 2.85 kilos, and I ended up being very, very sick. So I got what I asked for, just not in the way that I wanted it. But the thing is, when we get too specific, we do not allow the universe to gift us more. We are in human form. We can only comprehend so much. So I always recommend leaving a little bit for the universe to gift us more than we could ever imagine for ourselves. Now, we can also ask the universe to deliver to us. And yes, the law of manifestation, the law of attraction, all of the 12 principles. But the main thing that we have to remember is whatever we ask for, we have to take aligned action. I really want a cup of tea after this. But me just saying I really want a cup of tea after this, considering that I'm on my own, that's not going to happen unless I get up and go and make that cup of tea. So again, it's about, yes, I want it, asking for it, but also taking aligned action. And one of the last things that I just want to cover here is the aligned actions, but also the aligned clients, the aligned energy. Because the thing is, if our clients are not in alignment and we're just accepting clients just because they're paying, this is not going to work. Are the clients that you're taking on, or are the jobs that you're seeking, are they in alignment? Remember, when we go to a networking networking event, it's not always about, collecting business cards or collecting people and playing business card snap. It is about making sure that the energy that we have with that person is a fit. Are their values a fit with us? Are they energetically aligned with us? Because if they are not, it's going to cause problems. And remember, when you do a lot of internal work, you will be shifting. You will be shifting very quickly if you're anything like me. Now, when you make those shifts, there is a time you need to reevaluate who is on board your team. Are you calling them forward? Are you leading them? Or is it time for you to go, actually, it's time for us to part ways. We are no longer in alignment. It's got to end. Because that energy will pollute your business moving forward. It will pollute your career moving forward. If you are just working for a company just to get paid, that is the wrong energy just to be taken in. You are going, when you go for an interview or you're going for a sales meeting, remember you are checking out the client and the employer just as much as they are checking you out. You have to spend a lot of time with these people, make sure it's a right fit. So also, when you're actually, one last thing, when you are taking aligned action and when you are growing, one of the things I really highly recommend you do is you protect your space, because there will be people who are watching your growth that triggers them. It will make them realize either they are not growing quickly or they will become jealous of what it is that you're achieving. Make sure that your circle, your inner circle, and those in your space are the right kind of people, because you do not want the silent saboteurs. A lot of them will be employees, or they will be people that you've probably been doing business with. Get rid of them if they're silent saboteurs. Get rid of the people that are holding you back. You do not want concrete boots while you're rising. Are your team goals aligned with your business goals and your own personal goals? This is crucial, because if your team goals are not aligned with your business goals, then your team are not going to be giving you the 100% that you will be giving to them. And I repeat this part, that 100% you are giving to them, because you are giving an energetic as well as a financial exchange. Making sure that your team goals are aligned with your own personal and business goals means that everything is winning. Like we say, 1 + 1 = 3. So I'm going to leave it there. If you'd like more information, or if you would like to work with me on a one-to-one, do reach out to me, hello@dawnbates.com. Visit my website and contact me through the House of Preeminence. I'm waiting. Well, I'm not waiting. I don't wait for anything. Time waits for no one. But I wish you all the very, very best. Enjoy the article. Enjoy this month's magazine. And like I said, if you've got any questions and you would like to ask me, remember, if you don't ask, you don't get. Much love for now. Take care. Ciao, ciao.